So last video we talked about how to add or subtract numbers in scientific notation. This video we're going to talk about how to multiply and divide. I've started here with the dividing. So with dividing and with multiplying though, on either one, you're going to check your decimal first. So if you remember the last video, I talked about how with adding and subtracting, you look at the power of 10 first. Here you're going to do your decimal first. So my decimals say I'm going to divide. So I am going to divide 3.51 by 1.3. Now we know that if I'm long dividing this by hand, I cannot do that. I cannot have a decimal on the outside. So I'm going to move it over 1 for both. So now I have 13 on the outside and 35.1 on the inside. So 13 goes into 35 twice, 26. I'm going to subtract here. I'm going to get 9 and drop down the 1. 13 goes into 91 7 times. So I get 2.7 as my decimal. You might think, well, if I'm checking my decimal first, what in the world do I do with my exponents? Well, we follow rules of exponents. So when we're dividing, when you're dividing, we subtract exponents. So I have -2 minus 4, which is -6. So my answer is 2.7 times 10 to the -6. All right, next we're going to look at multiplying. So it says to, again, check the decimal first. So I'm going to do my decimal operation first. 2.6 times 8.3. 18, carry the 1. 48, carry the 4. 20. And I'm going to add these guys together. And I have 2 decimals here, so I'm going to move it over boom, boom twice. And I got 21.58. Okay? But if you remember, when you're multiplying numbers that have the same base, you're going to add the exponents. So my 2 exponents are 4 and 8, so 4 plus 8 is 12. So I have 21.58 times 10 to the 12th. Here's the problem though, 21.58 is not in, times 10 to the 12th is not in scientific notation. Why is it not in scientific notation? This number is not a number 1 through 10. But I can get it there by moving that decimal over 1. So I'm going to move it over 1, so I have 2.158 times 10 to the, now if I moved it, I've got to change my exponent. I moved it 1 to the left, that means I'm going to add 1 exponent to the top. And I get 2.158 times 10 to the 13th. Hopefully this kind of cleared things up. So if you remember that multiplying and dividing, you check your decimal first. And adding and subtracting, you check your powers first. I think that'll really help you keep things straight.